everybody. Wichita Public Works and Utilities crews are working hard to sweep up the remaining sand off the streets. We have our Strategic Services Manager, Ben Nelson, here with us today. Ben, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, I think most people probably know, but if you just talk a little bit about the situation and what you guys are working on.
Yeah, we dumped on almost basically an unprecedented amount of sand on the streets this past February when we had a couple different snow and ice events. Once we hit February, we had some very cold temperatures that followed some pretty significant snow accumulations for us. So we had to throw more sand than we normally do on the roads in order to provide vehicles traction so they could get through the storm as safely as possible. Well, it takes quite a while to pick some of that sand up, and since we put so much more down than we normally do, in this case about 7,000 tons of sand were dropped on the roads in February. It's taken us a little longer than it normally does to pick up the sand. And to that point, we've made a couple of operational changes the past 2 months, the most recent one being going to an enhanced street sweeping schedule where we're running the street sweepers 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, and that's really helped us pick up the pace on the sand cleanup.
You mentioned 7,000 tons is above average. What's normal?
It's far less than that. Generally, we won't have storms don't generally last as long as these past couple of events did in February. And this time around we went to just a straight sand mix, where what we'll usually do for a few days after we get snow is put salt and sand down, and that'll help eliminate the snowpack and provide some traction to vehicles. Because the snowpack accumulated with the cold temperatures, salt would have just simply refrozen, and then that would have really hurt people with the traction out there on the road. So we put more sand down. We did it for much longer. So this was probably 2-3 times as much sand as we'd normally put down in a storm. That's
impressive.
It is. It is.
So when people are out driving around, I'm expecting they'll see the crews out. Is there anything you want them specifically to know?
Two things, really. For one, just to know how grateful we as a city are for their patience. I know this has taken a lot longer, I think, than we would have hoped, and I know that our residents really would have liked to have some of it cleaned up earlier. So thanks for their patience and working with the sand that's been on the streets for the past few months. But also to proceed cautiously and slowly around the street sweepers. They run just a few miles an hour because it's a very slow process of funneling the sand into the truck that they can then dump out. So they can run 6-8 miles an hour. So just to be mindful and drive cautiously around them and when they see street sweepers.
And then when do you guys expect to have it all done?
We should have all of the sand cleaned up by early June. We were initially thinking probably we would be mid-June, so we're shaving off 2 or 3 weeks from the schedule by going to these 24-hour-a-day, 6 days a week operations.
Very good. All right, well, thanks for the scoop.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this City 7 News Now update.